What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Nothing But Skills, and today we're bringing you another division video. Today's video is going to be focused on how to improve your aim in the division. I created a video like this about 2 months ago, and it had a lot of really good feedback. A lot of people ask me, well, Skills, how do you turn on people when they're shooting you in the back so fast? Or how are you aiming so quick? Or how are you moving left to right so efficiently? So what we're going to do in this video is show you what my settings are, how you can adjust those settings, and what I recommend you putting your settings on. Before we get into this video, guys, I just want to say thank you guys for everybody who's been supporting my channel. We're about to hit 10K subs, and that's amazing. I don't know if by the time I release this video, we'll already be at 10K. But if we are, that's going to be crazy because we just hit 9K. So if we do hit 10,000, I'll be streaming for 10,000 subs. I'm saying thank you to all of you guys for helping support this channel. Remember, if you're new to this channel, this is the first time you're watching the video, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up. And as always, if you have any questions after watching this video, make sure you use the comment section down below. So let's get into the number one way to help your aim sensitivity, your look speed, and all those great aspects of the game that help you aim faster, turn faster, and be able to be an efficient PvP player. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go into your main menu. You need to go down to the bottom right and you're going to see the settings tab. You're going to click on that settings tab and then you're going to go to the control options. Once I click controls, I'm going to have the control settings that I can change on my right hand side. These are my personal settings and I haven't always played at this speed. If you watched my last video that I released around 2 months ago, I think my camera sensitivity was around 40%, my aim sensitivity was around 45%, and my scope sensitivity was around 50%. So this takes some time to get used to. I don't recommend putting your camera sensitivity or aim sensitivity all the way up like off the bat. I recommend moving up little by little like I did, but we'll get into my settings and then we'll talk about some settings you can do to help you guys out. So the first thing you're gonna notice is you can change your button layout. It goes from default to southpaw to legacy southpaw to default. I personally like playing on default. If you wanna go check out how the other ones look, all you have to do is put on southpaw, hit X to see an overview of the buttons, and that way you can see maybe this is a better way for you to play this game. Another thing you can do to your controller is you can turn off the vibration. A lot of people don't understand that when you're playing with the vibration on the controller, it does shake your hand a little, so your aim may get thrown off. Now, I've met a lot of players who turn off vibration and they love it. They say that they can hit their targets more efficiently and their hand doesn't feel like it's always shaking. I like to have the vibration on because I know when the gun is firing, it kind of lets me be in the game where I can feel that I'm shooting the gun and the gun's vibrating. So that's why I do leave the vibration on. So if you're having issues with stability and just hitting your target, turning off the vibration might be a good thing. So what you can do is try it with no vibration on, try it with vibration on, and play a couple last stand matches, play a couple skirmish matches and see which one you like better. Now for my camera sensitivity, I'm finally at around 80%. I tried playing at 100% and it was just a little bit too fast for me. I moved it up to 80% and that's kind of my sweet spot. What does camera sensitivity do? Camera sensitivity, it changes the camera movement speed when you're looking around. So that's pretty much when you're not aiming in and you're just circling around so you can spin around fast. That's what camera sensitivity does. So if you guys are having issues with controlling where to stop when you're shooting at somebody, maybe lowering the camera sensitivity might help you out a little bit. So that way you can find the target and you can hit them more often than not. At the end of the day, having a little bit higher camera sensitivity is going to help you out. So when someone's shooting you in the back, you can spin around fast enough to shoot them. The next sensitivity I want to talk about is aim sensitivity. Mine's around 80%. In my last video, I think this one was like 45 to 50%. I went up 30% because I found out that I was able to still control my aim using a higher sensitivity. Now, what aim sensitivity does is aim sensitivity changes the camera movement speed when you are zoomed in. So once you're zoomed in on the gun, this is where the aim sensitivity is gonna play its part. When you're trying to turn left to right, or you're trying to track down a target that's moving left to right really fast, or he's trying to run around you, the aim sensitivity is gonna help you still be able to spin around while you're zoomed in and hit the target. I recommend if you're not really good at aiming right now or you're missing a lot of shots, having a lower aim sensitivity will be better for you. Another thing you can do to test out your camera sensitivity and your aim sensitivity, raise it up, lower it down, head into skirmish, head into last stand, and then you can test out those settings and hopefully you can find the right settings for you. The last main setting that I want to talk about is the scope sensitivity. What is scope sensitivity? Well, this is more focused on you snipers, changing the camera movement speed when you're zoomed in through a scope. So when you're using a sniper scope and you're trying to track down a target, the higher the sensitivity, the faster that scope movement is going to move. Now for the next couple settings, this is going to be a personal preference, but it's up to you. The y-axis, the x-axis, that's up to you. I leave mine at no, and press the sprint. I really recommend you putting yes. It toggles the needing to either hold down your sprint control or only needing to press it. All you have to do is tap the sprint button. You'll be able to start sprinting, and then when you want to stop sprinting, you can pull back on the joysticks. If you don't like holding down the button when you're sprinting, this is a great option for you. Having this on is a great benefit, and I recommend you putting this on. For you newer players who don't know about this, this is a feature that I really recommend you switching on your control settings. Even if you leave your camera sensitivity, your aim sensitivity, or your scope sensitivity the same way you have it right now, you should definitely change press to sprint. Some of you guys might want to know what my dead zone size is. I left it at default settings of 5%. I've had some people tell me that they play at 0%. Some people claim they play at 15%. I leave it at default at 5%. I haven't touched these settings, so this might be something that helps you guys out. What this does is it adjusts the size of left to right sticks dead zone. A smaller size makes the left and right sticks more sensitive to input. So if you guys like playing at a higher dead zone rate, this might be something for you guys. For me, having it at 5% is just perfect, and the default settings is where I'm leaving it at. Aim assist is something that is default on the console systems. You might as well just leave it on. I really don't know the difference between having it on and off, but just leave it on. That's the default settings. I wouldn't mess with it. And then the same thing with scope aim assist. Leave this on too. The biggest settings that you really need to focus on in this portion of the video is your dead zone. You can mess with that a little bit. Press to sprint. Your scope sensitivity, your aim sensitivity, and your camera sensitivity. And then the last but not least, your vibration. What I would recommend is to test out these settings, mess with the settings a little, go into last stand, go into skirmish where you're gonna fight players, and see how you like each setting. I personally like playing in last stand and skirmish because you're gonna fight a lot more players more frequently versus in the dark zone. If you don't find anybody, you're gonna be looking for a while. So now that we finished talking about the settings, how else can we improve your aim? Well, there's a couple things that you can do. A lot of you guys might be using an assault rifle and not an SMG. So if you guys been playing the game for a while, or even if you're new to the game, you probably noticed that SMGs tend to have a lot less recoil than assault rifles like the M4, the LVOA. Those guns tend to jump a little bit more. So what's the tip and trick you can do to your lightweight M4 or even your SMG if you're having some kind of stability issue or the recoil is just too much? Well, the first tip I can tell you guys is you're gonna wanna go into your skills and then head over to your talents. So if you're still having a lot of issues with recoil, what you could do is take off one of these talents over here and switch it over for steady hands. What does steady hands do? When you enter any cover, it's going to reduce your recoil by 25% for 10 seconds. So once I get into cover, you're going to see the little steady hands logo pop up at the bottom, and that's when you know for 10 seconds, you're going to have 25% less recoil. So the key number you want to look for when trying to increase your stability on your weapons is around 20 to 30%. Now just using steady hands with using no mods or no rolls on your gear set is going to give you 25%. So if you're good at jumping into cover and coming out of cover and fighting players, you might not even need to stack any kind of stability on your weapons or on your gear sets. But if you're still having issues because steady hands isn't enough for you, then there is another thing you can do. Putting stability on your backpack might be the next best thing you can do. Putting around 17.5 stability is going to give you just a little bit more control of that lightweight M4. What I'm going to show you in a second is what it looks like to have no stability on my M4 and then to have 30% stability. And this is just using my striker set with no other kind of stability mods on. Also, if you don't want to put stability on your backpack, you can put it on your weapon. The thing is, the two pieces that give you the most stability are probably going to reduce your critical hit damage a lot more than 9%. Like me, I stack 18% on my scope and 18% on my grip. So having this 9% critical hit damage not on my backpack and having 17.5 stability will probably be more beneficial for me than removing it from my gun. So we're going to get to my gun so I can show you that. So some people might say, well, I don't want to remove the 9% critical hit damage on my backpack because I don't want to have less critical hit damage. Can I just put it on my weapon? Well, if you do put it on your weapon, you're going to be removing a lot higher critical hit damage because the two places you can put high stability mods are on your underbarrel and your optics. And your optics is going to give you around 11% stability, and the same thing with your underbarrel. So would you rather remove 9% off your backpack and add 17.5 stability, or would you rather move 18% critical hit damage or 19% critical hit damage and put 11 to 12% stability? That's what you need to really decide. But logically, removing the 9% critical hit damage on your backpack and putting stability is going to help you out a lot more than doing that to your optics. Now, you might say, well, 17.5 just isn't enough for me, even with using steady hands. Well, that's when you're going to have to change something with your underbarrel or your optics. The one thing I will tell you, SMGs with more than 15% stability are pretty stable. You shouldn't have any issue. Now with your M4, it may still jump a little, and that's why maybe the striker set is a better set for you if you're having a lot of issues controlling the M4. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you what 30% stability looks like versus no stability, and you can see the difference between the M4 jumping and the M4 not jumping. So this is going to be 30% stability with no mods, and just to show you how this M4 holds up. So you can see it's almost like a laser beam. It does not move at all. Even from a distance, it's moving a little bit left or right. That is not bad at all. That is a pretty easy thing to control compared to what it's going to look like when I switch to the same gun with no stability, just to show you. So this is no stability on my gun, and you're going to see how this gun moves. You see how it's jumping up. It's kind of going all over the place. As I keep firing this gun, you're going to see it goes all the way up. And that's just me holding it. The other one, I was holding the trigger just as much, but it had 30% stability, and you can see the difference between having stability and not. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you with the Talon steady hands on and with it off. So this is still, there's no stability on this gear set. It jumps all over the place. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump into cover. You see the steady hands logo pops up. I'm gonna pop out of cover, and you can see the difference. 25% makes a big difference. So if you're having issues controlling your stability, this might be what you really need to do. Learn how to fight off cover. Jump on the wall, come out of cover. For 10 seconds, you have 25% less stability. Well, there's one other thing you can do, and now this is something you can add to your controller. So a lot of you guys play with a regular PlayStation controller like me. There's this option called control-free grips. And what control-free grips do is it gives you a little bit more control of your thumbsticks. I don't know about you guys, but when I use my regular PlayStation controller, it feels like my thumbsticks are too low for me. So I ended up going out and I did some research, and a lot of people were recommending these control grips. They're called control-free grips. And I got the CQC, the close quarter combat control grips, and I put them on my controller, and they are night and day. That is also how I'm able to use 80% stability and 80% aim sensitivity. Now these grips are going to cost you around $15 to $20 depending on where you buy them from. What I'll do is I'll put a link in the description box down below of where I got mine from. I got them from Amazon, and they are amazing, guys. I would definitely pick them up if you're still having some kind of control issues with your controller. I'm able to control my player a lot better. I'm able to go left to right, strafe a little bit better. Doing these tips are going to help you guys out. Changing your aim sensitivity, changing your camera sensitivity, changing the scope sensitivity, even switching the vibration on to off, adding some stability mods to your weapon, or changing the gear rolls on your backpack. Those are things you can do to help out your aims without having to purchase anything else. Now, if you want to take it to that next level because you feel like you've done this already and you don't have that ability to still get those kills or have that look speed you want, well then adding some grips to your controller may help you out. That could be the difference between you melting someone and not melting someone. So if you guys still have any questions on any of the things I talked about today, let me know in the comment section. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're watching a video, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. And as always, if you don't see me in Last Stand, if you don't see me in the Dark Zone, if you don't see me in Skirmish, it's only a matter of time. Your boy Nothing But Skills is out.